Alright, so I have another video that I have yet to edit, but I'm just it's so old. Made 2 weeks or so before school started, and I'm already into mid-quarter this week. So, so I thought I would just do one sort of like what's going on and sort of what I'm reading at the moment and what I've most recently finished. Although it hasn't been as much reading as one would hope, but hey, it's the school year, so what can one do? Alright, you can go. You can go. Go. The one thing that I have read most recently is Why the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan. It's one of the graphic novels I've recently bought. This was recommended to me 6 or 7 years ago when I lived in Los Angeles, and by a really good friend of mine who I, loves horror films and comic books and stuff like that, and he couldn't ever sell me on horror films because I like to sleep at night. But he did mention stuff about comic books and stuff, and I remember him talking about Why the Last Man. So I've been searching off and on over the last few years to, if they had the first the first volume, but they never do. So I found it on my trip to Philadelphia to see my friend Pam. I bought it. It's really good. Like, it's a series I will definitely continue. The premise, if you don't know, is that there's this epidemic that wipes out every living creature with a Y chromosome, except for Yorick. His parents were, I think his dad was an English professor, Yorick and his pet monkey, and no one knows why. And so this is the first one, just sort of, and it shows what happens, what women do. And it's not just like they all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, which I think a lot of people would think that women would do. There's all these different factions, and those who are extremists, like they want to be the Amazons, and then there's those who are trying to keep the government in order, and the wives of senators who want to take their husbands' places, and it's very interesting. There's a lot of humor, but it also deals with kind of interesting issues that would come up if that ever happened, which I thought was, fascinating. It is not, it's definitely teen and above, if not older than that, so it's not for kids because of some of the language that's used, but I really liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars. I definitely want to continue the series. What's really funny is I started rewatching and sort of continuing to watch Chuck, the TV show, and he reads these, and I thought that was kind of fun. Also, if you haven't watched Chuck, the music is awesome. So that's what I've read most recently, and that's unfortunately it. But what I'm reading right now is I'm keeping a book at school for those few moments that I might want to read something as opposed to grade something, which is, well, I would rather read all the time and not grade, but the grading does need to get done, which is what I'm doing this afternoon, full throttle on essays. Essays on Candide, yay. So I'm reading, I did a video where I had bought this. I bought this when I was in England last summer, 2013. It's This Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald. And I'm just slowly working my way through it. The language is, he's always an incredible writer, but he writes a lot more than this, than Gatsby, which is so beautiful, but uses his words economically. He doesn't overdo it. This one is a bit more verbose. And the chapters are really long, so finding this place to stop is a little annoying. But so far I really enjoyed it. It's once again sort of characters that you don't like, kind of like Gatsby. Amory, A-M-O-R-Y, Blaine. Seriously, with a name like that, he can't help but be kind of dislikable. Although it's a great name. Hi, Margie. He's very self-centered and kind of growing up, and I have yet to really get to conflict, so I'm not really sure where this is going, but I'm, almost 70 pages in, a probably 300 book. It's good so far, but anyway, this is what I'm keeping at school and sort of working my way through. I keep hoping that maybe one of my students will see it and be like, oh, what's that? And I'll be like, look, I read good books. I don't just read young adult, even though I love young adult. I'm trying to read things that are going to push my brain a bit more as far as language is concerned and plot and stuff like that. So, This Side of Paradise with the gorgeous cover and F. Scott Fitzgerald. Margie! She's being really annoying. Okay. The other book that I'm reading that's at home on my nightstand by my bed is a book that I started a long time ago and then stopped and have picked up again. Possession by A.S. Byatt, which won the Booker in 1990. Won the Booker Award in in 1990. I have the movie, which I know is a little different. It's gorgeously written, and so that's why it's taking me a while, because it's just such rich language, as literary novels are. But it's about two academics who find a connection between two Victorian poets and sort of search out. So it's like literary chasing, which I like anyway. I think is a very cool thing. Buy it. These are made up Victorian poets. So she's written all the letters for these two poets and the poems that they've written. So, I mean, this woman, this author is incredible. So, really enjoying it so far. It's just, again, sort of meaty, so it takes me a while. Hey, I'm 112 pages in a 500-something page book. So, yeah, we're getting there. Other than that, that's about it on my front as far as books are. I will continue going through those, although I might slip in a lighter read just to, finish something. I've got plenty of books that I could do that with. So yeah, school's started. Everything's going pretty well. It's my second year where I finally get to teach the same thing twice in a row, which has relieved a huge amount of stress, except for the fact that I have to still grade essays. And so far, it's been a good year. I'm excited about my new students. New to me. They're a different... That was her tail. Bless you. They're a different group, different personalities and stuff, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Any suggestions on books that I should read? I'm really wanting to get through a lot more books this year than I did last year. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope to start doing these a bit more regularly. And I have to go make lunch and then grade. But first, I have to walk you dog. So, peace out.